We're rolling.
Yeah.
Just for a complete, explanation, if I were to get a little shorter, you'd realize that no, I don't have very much hair. Ian brought this up earlier. Hi, Ian. Hi, Sam. So, I don't know. I'm not too interested in having my face on here, so we'll try to encompass more of this. So, this is like psychological principles for living. And so one of my favorite psychologists is somebody that named Kurt Lewin, now passed away. He was active more in the 30s and 40s. Kurt Lewin had this thing though; he would diagram out kind of social networks. This is before it all got like became a movie and stuff. And so Kurt Lewin, he would use vectors. Now a vector is something where kind of like a force has a direction and a strength. So you see the arrow, right, direction, the length of the arrow is how strong the kind of movement in that direction is. So this is like same direction but not very strong. This one's stronger. This one, different direction, a little stronger than that one, not as strong as that one. That's how all vectors work. This is how a paper towel works. So, with Kurt Lewin, he would like diagram out people. It's like everybody you know. Imagine that everybody you know. So you might have, grocer. I just got to do over there. Almost looks like he has a smile. It's kind of nice. And maybe mother-in-law over here. And you got, your brother. You got your sister. And then there's you. We'll put that here because you're a blockhead. This you just got to keep it straight. Almost looks like a robot. Don't be afraid. He's a friendly robot. It's not a robot at all. This is supposed to be you. So you see, you could have in mind, it's just like, so let's say you're getting closer to the grocer every time you go there, and you kind of go, oh, hi, Phil. And he doesn't really know your name. But he kind of waves, he kind of remembers you. You go, are you back here for more bacon? If you like bacon. And you like the fact that he remembers that you like bacon and that you come in there to buy bacon. So every time you go, that relationship gets a little tiny bit stronger. That's why that's so short, but that's why it's kind of in that direction. You're getting closer to the grocer. Okay? Let's say your relationship with mother-in-law is soured lately. Maybe the last time she came over, she made a rude remark about your lack of hair. Not that we're sensitive to that kind of thing, but let's just say it happened. So you see, that's kind of like, kind of like going away from, it's not where she is, but where this is all in reference from, your position. You're getting a little bit further away from mother-in-law, and but you've known her for many years, so actually that length of this might really be quite long. But it's a movement away. So one of the things that happens in kind of viewing these things is that you realize that the direction of the connection is very, very influential to us. And so you could have someone that you're close to. Let's say in this instance, the length of the arrow has to do with how strong the relationship is with someone. When that direction shifts, even though you're very close to the person, still, because you've known them a long time, the fact that you're now withdrawing away is very, very sensitive. We're very sensitive to that shift. So it can work out that you're very close to someone, but because something happened in your relationship, a criticism or a misunderstanding, or maybe somebody actually just decided they didn't like you anymore, it's very, very hurtful, even though you might still be quite close to the person. And that would even be true with the grocer. Even though you're not, it's not like a hugely important relationship to you. But let's say the next time you came in and see the grocer, he doesn't remember who you are. He kind of like, who are you? Why are you saying that? And you kind of go, ugh. Even though it's a very minor relationship, you'd be surprised probably at how much emotional hurt is involved in it. So what you might do is when you think of your relationships, think about the direction. Because one of the things that Kurt Lewin said, which I've found to be true all these decades since I've been thinking about him, is that you're either getting closer to somebody or you're getting further away. It's never static. So even if it's somebody that you haven't talked to, have in mind that that means that that relationship is slowly getting weaker. Probably. Unless, of course, in your own mind, it's like if you're last in a relationship, it's like, well, I'm very fond of the person. I mean, it's possible for it to get closer. I don't know. It depends on you and the people that you know. But they never stay the same. So that's one thing. The other important part is that recognize that we're exquisitely sensitive to when that relationship, should start shrinking if it's been expanding. If we've been getting closer and then all of a sudden we're getting further away, that strikes us as being a huge shift, but oftentimes we overinterpret that. Because honestly, our relationships are always going to include some amount of getting closer, getting further away, closer, further away, back and forth. And we need to kind of learn to not be quite so sensitive to when those directions shift. That is, of course, unless you don't want to be more content. But that's a subject for another day. And that's it for Kurt Lewin.